Over the course of 52 years, the modern Price is Right experimented with some pretty atrocious games which were very abruptly retired. At the same time, some of the most beloved Price is Right games are ones that are no longer in the rotation for one reason or another. The following is a list of these games that, if they were to come back tomorrow, would be widely celebrated by audiences of all generations. Here we go with my list of the top 10 retired Price is Right pricing games. First off, an honorable mention, Magic Number. Magic Number ran on The Price is Right from 1992 until 2021. It was a short little game, but had great sound effects and a decent win percentage. Magic Number ended up becoming the second longest tenured game to be retired. More on number 1 later, but for now, the main list. Number 10, Bump. Might as well start the list with the game that caused the most water cooler discussion at the time. Bump was unique in that it was sort of a love letter to London, England with its Union Jack signage and double-decker bus props. The game was also unique in that whatever direction the contestant decided to send the buses, the model would bump the buses using her hips, complete with gyrations, a move that was considered to be rather vulgar for daytime television demographics at the time. The game was retired around the same time when real-life romantic drama between Bob and Diane became public. Number 9, Super Saver. Super Saver was a well-received game that lasted from 1989 until 1996, but even 7 years of regular gameplay couldn't save this one from the scrap heap. Contestants had to pick 4 of 6 prizes with the intent of saving $1 or more. Even if the contestant picked the prizes which were marked up, they could still win. But an explanation error by Bob, which resulted in a contestant complaint, led the game to being quickly retired. The game was also infamous for its many technical errors and glitches. Then again, so is the production of this channel, so who am I to judge? Number 8, Hurdles. Hurdles was another unique game which debuted in 1976, shortly before the Summer Olympics in Montreal, where the US took home 94 medals. In this fun game, which was played often during its time on the show, contestants would pick the lower price of 3 products which the hurdler would have to jump over. The game is noted for its use of the popular William Tell Overture, as well as for Bob's use of a starter pistol, which was always fun to see the contestants' varied reactions to the sudden pop. But the game suffered from technical limitations, and by 1983, the game had fallen out of the race. Number 7, Joker. No, not that garbage. Joker never seemed to be beloved by the staff of the show, but did have a solid 13-year run ending shortly before Bob's retirement in 2007. The contestant has to win 4 chances to discard 4 of 5 playing cards. The gameplay is very similar to Shell Game, but even if the game is played perfectly, unlike Shell Game, they can still lose. Plus, flipping cards isn't nearly as much fun as pulling up shells, and seems like there would be more room for operator error here. Number 6, Make Your Mark, aka Barker's Markers. This was an okay game that seemed to do well during the Barker years, but suffered greatly when the change of guard happened for season 36. Barker's Markers, later renamed Make Your Mark, had a simple concept. The contestant guessed 3 prizes out of 4 prices. 2 were always correct, but 1 could be swapped in exchange for a $500 gift. The game seemed to do well during its initial years, but in 2008 it was retired because a very green Drew Carey screwed up the rules. Rather than making fixes, it was decided to just get rid of it entirely. Number 5, Super Ball. This was televised skee-ball. Super Ball offered 3 large prizes behind the big doors, which would require the contestant to land a skee ball in the center circle to win the game. This is easily my favorite of the retired pricing games because I love skee ball. But when you got a contestant that didn't understand the rules, it got ugly and fast. If this game started the show and the contestant couldn't figure out that essentially you roll the ball up the ramp, the next thing you know, 12 minutes have passed and we're only 1 game in. This kind of redonkulous screen time got Super Ball guttered in 1998. Number 4, Give or Keep. This was a popular enough game over its 18-year history, but not so much with the staff. Give or Keep was a simple enough game, keep more than you can give. Good philosophy of life. The game also was played on the opposite side of the turntable, so it was spoiled to not just Contestants Row, but also the home audience as well. According to the show's 36-year veteran producer Roger Dobkowitz, the game almost came back for season 38, but Roger was let go by then, and as happens, plans change. Number 3. Penny Ante. Retiring this game sucked because it had one of the best set designs on the show, but technology is only so limiting, and that was this game's Achilles heel. A contestant is given 3 pennies, thus 3 wrong choices to pick between 2 sets of 4 prices. Bob would press the button, that column would light up, and the price would be revealed. It was a fun little game with one of the most classic sound effects in game show history. But constant mechanical failures were exceedingly common throughout the years, and by 2002 the game was essentially a liability and went on indefinite hiatus. Number 2. Hit Me. This was one of my favorite pricing games, but blackjack is my table of choice at the casino, so I'm biased. Contestants have to pick prizes that, when divided by the actual price, create a card that goes towards their blackjack hand. It was fun as long as the contestant understood blackjack. If they didn't, oh boy, it could get awkward. Longtime viewers of the show were well aware of the 2-card blackjack hand that could easily have been selected if the contestant knew how the game worked. Yet Hit Me was retired shortly before Bob's own retirement, with its finale occurring during season 35. But it wouldn't be the last card-based game to appear on this list. Number 1. Poker Game. The longest tenured game to appear on this list, Poker Game lasted 32 years before being retired and was still popular until the end. In Poker Game, the contestant is shown 4 prizes, each with 3 digits. The digits would be placed inside of 2 poker hands, and if the contestant had the better hand, they won. The biggest problem with the game is that no prizes could be over 3 digits or maximum $999, thus severely limited what a contestant could win. Thus, Poker Game retired almost right alongside Bob in 2007. Such a shame too, considering the absolute boom in popularity of poker in the mid-2000s. With the official retirements of games such as Poker Game, Hit Me, and Joker during season 35, it almost feels like a major part of the show's charm had left alongside Bob Barker. But luckily there are shows like this one that are here to keep the memories alive. And who knows, maybe they'll be back again in some variety down the road.